What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian with American Auto, and today we are back on the Challenger again. We got parts in. Well, we got a part in, and what that is this back deck filler piece. So I'm gonna get this set up, and I'll show you where we're at. So in the last video on this car, you see we got the air ride done. Car's going up and down, doing what it's supposed to. We got the airbags in the rear, we got the shock waves in the front, we've got it all controlled through the E-Level kit from RideTech and AccuAir. All that's working amazing. Still have to do work on the ignition. I still have to do work on the ignition switch because it's not wanting to operate properly. That's what's stopping the fuel pump from running. In turn, it's also stopping the compressors from coming on for the air ride. So we'll work on that shortly. As for right now, we gotta get this deck lid off and cut this bad panel out and weld in this new panel that I've just hit on the rack. Didn't scratch it. But we got this new panel that come from CHL. Yeah, come from CHL. I ordered it through Rock Auto, and it came in fairly quick. So that seems to feel like really good sturdy metal, so that's a good thing. And let me show you what we're taking apart. So where we're at here, guys, you can see that window channel there, how Swiss cheesed it is. Now granted, I could probably spend a whole bunch of hours working on it and making it look like that, but I'm not going to do that. Especially considering they actually sell this panel. They don't sell that one up there, they sell this one, which is how we wound up with it from CHL. So to get started here, we're going to have to take the 4 bolts out of the deck lid, put it on the other side of the car over there, and start figuring out how this comes out. It'll probably have to be cut out. We have to move these panels here so I can weld all this back in because we don't want to mess up the inside panels. Also, in the process, I guess I'm going to have to go through and move all the air ride stuff out of the way because I don't want sparks going down and hitting any of that. So we're going to get all this stuff moved out, and I'll bring you guys back. Guys, we got that out of there in pieces, a whole bunch of pieces everywhere. That rusty out, janky stuff is out. Now, at this point, not a whole lot I can really do with this. I'll put a piece under it and try and sandwich weld it. Plug weld that. And same thing over here, but there's probably not going to be a whole heck of a lot I can do there. Now, that part there, we're going to paint it with that rust paint that I've got, where it kills the rust. And that is going to actually lay over the top of that. So that will take care of that. So let's get it started, get it on in there, and yeah. All right, guys, we got it welded in there, and overlook the flat black. That's just a little paint I put on there just to cover everything up, the bare metal and stuff. And overlook my little marks on there from where I had to mark where my holes were going to be going at. Anyway, so I was going to run the dump tubes out somewhere in the trunk here, but the line they gave me is fine, but the nipples they gave me to go into the exits don't fit. And I'm seeing that it's really not that important to run the dumps out of the car. Now, if somebody knows otherwise, let me know. So now I guess we need to put the trunk lid back on for the time being. So yeah, let's get after that. I might have to get Mama to come out here and give me a hand. She's gonna love that. We got the trunk lid back on. I say we, myself incorporated. Scam caller, calling from the United States. Ignore that. Sorry, guys. Anyway, back this camera out. So we got the trunk lid back on. Now I have to go through and fix all this and, you know, stuff like that. But primarily, she's lined up nice and straight all the way across. And that black looks so much better. And even better is if you look, There's no more Swiss cheese in there. So I think he's going to be happy with that, especially now that he can get a back glass put in it and a front glass put in it and all the rest of it. All right, everybody, we're back. It's another day now, and we are working on starting the body work on this Challenger. So hang tight, I'll show you what I've done. So as you can see right there on the door, I'll explain the black here in just a second, but as you can see, this was the bad spot here, down here, and right here. But now there's still more down here that has to be done. All right, like right there, I've got to fix that too. The black is literally the cheapest black spray paint I could find to use as a guide coat. So we're gonna start rubbing on this door and getting it worked down and see what's high, what's low, what needs to be touched, and all that stuff. So we're gonna get started on that and see just how good this door looks. But I think I'm gonna take the door off because I do still have to fix that. All these holes here, and the holes down at the bottom. All right, guys and gals, it's a little dusty in here, but we're getting ready to start doing some body work. I'll show you. So you can see some spots. Now this right here around this mirror is obviously elevated. That's for the tilt of the mirror. But right here, you see that low spot there? That spot there, I'm not too sure about yet. This whole section here has to be done. Move up here. You got these dents in here that have to be done. This whole area here has to be done. But other than that, you would think the door looks okay until you come on down. But this is why we put the guide coat on. There's a dent right there that you never see. Keep moving on down. Right here. These dents here, that spot there. That's why we do the guide coat, guys. Now, this back here don't feel like nothing. There's a dent right there. It has to be touched. But, you know, you do a little bit, sand a little bit, do a little bit, then there's all that there that has to be touched. There's another section right down there that has to be touched. So that's what I'm saying, guys. You got to do a little bit, sand a little bit, do a little bit, sand a little bit. That's why we're going to go ahead and get some of this on there. So I'll show you that as we're doing it. And we're mixing. Looks like an R diesel, don't it? Slap it on there. Well, I don't suppose I got enough to do it all. Whew. Hand cramp. What do you say we let that ride? We've been hard at it. And we done, I'll just show you. So, back that out. We already got the door sanded down, got the first bit of the dents in it all patched up. Now you can see roughly how many was in there. Like, there was a lot of spots in it that had to be touched. And then we got back over it with the black guide coat again. I'm just letting that set and get good, and then we'll go back and do it all again and see where my low spots are. We're gonna move over here for a little bit just to get away from the dust, and we're gonna fix that. That looks like hammered butt crack, but again, I did not do this, but I am gonna fix it. So we're going to connect that weld together, bring it up, grind it down, make it look right. And that's going to be about the best I can do with it. I don't really know of any other option. All right, guys, it's another day, and we've been working away on this door for this Challenger. And now we're getting ready to put some primer on it. One coat anyway. And this is just going to be a process of prime it, fill it, prime it, fill it, sand it, prime it, fill it, sand it, prime it, fill it, sand it, until we get this door straight. And the thing is, guys, it really wasn't bad. I mean, I've seen worse, but we're going to at least get the bodywork straight on it, whether I paint it or not. But we are going to prime it. So let me show you. I got her outside. But that's how much damage was actually on this door that I could see in the first bit of primer, getting it sanded down. And also, guys, on the next step here, I will show you how I made guide coat, because I don't know if you know, but using paint as a guide coat clogs up your sandpaper. Ask me how I know that. So we're going to Windex this down and get it all cleaned up, put a coat of primer on it, and then get back to work on it. So, all right, guys, we got it primed up and got it guide coated. And tip of the day, y'all ready for this one? If you price guide coat, it's expensive. If you use black paint for guide coat, it clogs your paper. So there's other options, okay? On Amazon, you can do, I don't know, some of the charcoal sticks and grind them up real fine. There's that. Grinding it up is another thing altogether by itself. Or you can do what I did. Let me show you. Now, I don't have it on there super thick, but it's on there enough. Y'all can see that just fine, right? Well, let me show you. Yeah. Nice black texture color. Shake it up. That, guys, I'll open it and show you. Hang on. So this is my guide coat. Simply a powder, right? Now, obviously you need an applicator. So my wife, being the woman she is, gives me a makeup brush. Now what I will tell you is be extremely careful with these, because they hold a whole hell of a lot of powder. And see, there's still powder in that. But, really simply put, see? You can do it like that. You can get it out of the cap. However you want to do it. Put it on there like so. And because the applicator for the actual guide coat is made of foam, I just use one of these paper towels here, and guess what? I got guide coat. Works out perfect, right? And it is completely dry. And it's a powder. Now, let me explain to you what this is. We took a chance on this to see if it would work, and I've already run one section of guide coat off of here to make sure it worked before I told you guys. But that is pure black pigment for makeup. And it's like $2, $3 on Amazon. Shows up to your house in 2 days. Okay? And it's a 4-ounce thing, so it's 4 ounces. It's the same amount you get in the guide coat. And my recommendation is to do like I did and put about 1/3 baby powder in it, just to lighten it up just a little bit. You don't need it jet black unless you're just blind. But otherwise, you can see it serves its purpose. Okay? Now, that worked out perfect for guide coat. And like I said, all it is, guys, is jet black makeup pigment that my wife ordered from Amazon, and 1/3 baby powder in a melatonin cup. Melatonin cup is not necessary. You can mix it in something else. But all we did was add that together, shake it up real good, and goo 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 choo, we have guide coat, and it works great. So we're gonna get back on this, guys, and yeah, I'll bring it back in just a minute. Okay, guys, so it's been a couple days, and yeah, overlooked the mess on the face. I got some sort of rash going on. Again, I swear, if there's some sort of rash I can catch, I catch it. Anyway, so I showed y'all the guide coat, and then I made a short video saying that the guide coat didn't work. I was wrong. I was wrong. Again, my guide coat works fine and smells pretty. What I was doing was using a cheap primer, and that's not it. It's right here. So I was using a cheap primer, Rust-Oleum automotive primer. Don't use it. Don't use that stuff. Not unless you're planning on just covering it up and not touching it. The primer is what was clogging the sandpaper up real bad. How I know that is because I got all that guide coat off and went back over the door with just the primer and went to sand it again, and immediately stopped my sandpaper up. So I used that on something else completely different and tried it, and it still stopped up the paper a little bit, but nowhere near like it did before, because like I said, it was just that particular primer I was using. I switched gears and went to a different kind of primer. I went with this stuff, Nason. Nason, I know, is a good company anyway. Got pretty good products. They sell mostly automotive paints anyway, so using a automotive company's primer turned out awesome. Let me show you what I mean. So I just slipped the door back on there just so I didn't have it up here on my sawhorses and getting it out of the way, because my shop is not massive, so I got to put stuff back. And it's a bit aggravating, but it works. But we got the door back on. It looks good. All right, it's got some rough edges, you know, some open areas, but as far as being sound, that door is straight. Ooh. There's actually a little bit of shine in that primer. Gee. Anyway, so we're not done with that door yet. You know, we still got more to do to it before we paint it. But just to get the big dents that was in it out, they're out. So, yep, that's taken care of. So now, we're not messing with this fender. That's a whole nother story coming from Summit. Again, waiting on Summit. Now we need to move on up to the hood here. Go ahead and start working on these guys here. Got some little spots in here, holes here, rough texture stuff. And we got a hole here that I'm gonna try and fill in with weld. And guys, that's what I generally try and do. If I have a hole or a bad spot, I try and fill it in with weld or with metal over body filler. The edge of this fender here needs some major attention all the way. This whole corner here needs a good bit of attention. And there's a spot on this door somewhere. I can't remember right offhand, but anyway, I'll show it to you when we get to it, guys. But we're just plucking right on along. The driver was almost to me. So I talked with him for a minute, and he said, yes, I'm 16 minutes away, whatever. Yada, yada. So I waited on him. When he called me, he said, I'm in your driveway. No, you're not, bud. Turns out he was in Virginia somewhere. So, long story short, he said, okay, well, we'll get this sent back and all this, and your fender should make it to you by Monday. Well, Monday's done come and gone. Still no fender. Summit, let me see. So I called RL Carriers, talked with them. They said it would be here Tuesday the 8th. Tuesday the 8th, I get another phone call, which was yesterday. They found my fender. It's in Maryland. It was, wow. Okay, guess our power's fixing to go out. So it was in Maryland. It was in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is only an hour away. And I told them if they would have just called me, I could have ran to Knoxville and picked it up. Not a big deal. I need this fender here. But they didn't bother letting me know. They sent it off. And anyway, it got lost in transit. So now, Summit has got on the ball and is trying their best to get it back to me. So now it's in West Virginia. And they're saying it'll be here Monday now. Summit, being the awesome company they are, refunded the shipping fees. I appreciate that, because that was like $150. So we'll take that. So that's that. But anyway, guys, back on the car. So we got the back seat covered up and all that, because we don't want all this dust going inside the car. I mean, it's going to go inside the car for now anyway. Bondo Billy, if you see this, but I was just joking, but if you did want to maybe come do a paint job, I got a paint booth and everything. All you'd have to do is bring yourself. But no, guys, I don't know. This guy's wanting me to paint this car. I don't feel like my skill level is high enough. But, and somebody even left a comment on the short saying know your limitations, and I do know my limitations. This is a customer car. I don't want to paint a customer car. I'll paint my own, because that's how I'm going to learn. But I don't know. He's going to look at my truck after I paint it, which you guys will follow for that. So guys, sum this up. We did the body work on that door. Got it ready for, just about ready for paint. And we're going to sand the rest of the body down and get the rest of these dings and stuff fixed in this car. We'll do each one of those as they come. Some of them will be faster than others. So in the meantime, we're going to end this one off real quick. I'm going to get this hood, or this trunk lid off, and get it primed. Get it out of bare metal. And yeah. So that's going to do it for this one, just because I don't want to keep y'all dragging along. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, share it with everybody, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks.